So, Ravens flock, it's been a few months since Michael Pierce has retired, and there have been some questions on how the Ravens are going to plan to fill the void that Michael Pierce will leave behind. And we've seen many solutions that they are looking into, one of which is what they just did, which is sign veteran nose tackle John Jenkins. He was a free agent, a 12-year veteran. He's been a journeyman throughout his career, playing for teams such as the Saints and the Seahawks, and then also most recently the Las Vegas Raiders. He's a guy who isn't gonna light up the stat sheet like on his career. He only has four and a half sacks and then 11 pressures, but he's also a guy who you're not bringing in with the intention of him lighting up the stat sheet, of course, because the number one goal is, hey, can he fill that void that Michael Pierce left behind? And mainly when it comes to stopping the run. And I do believe that is something that John Jenkins will be capable of doing. I think at this point of the free agency cycle, this is a solid signing, not an amazing signing, but again, this is like what, the third or fourth wave of free agency. So once you get to this point, you're not looking for stars, you're just looking for like reliable depth pieces, and that's what I believe John Jenkins will be brought in to be. I don't expect him to be on the field a whole lot when it comes to obvious passing situations like third and long and things of that nature, but definitely he will be a big part of trying to stop the run. I'm assuming he's going to be somebody that they're going to make sure to put in when guys like Travis Jones and Matabike, but definitely Travis Jones, when they start to get gassed, you will definitely see John make an appearance. He's a guy who, again, on his career, had 2 sacks and 11 pressures. So you're expecting him to more so just be a guy who can cause disruption within the interior defensive line. I'm excited. Well, on the scale of 1 to 10, my excitement is I would say a 6 out of 10. I think this is a solid signing. My main concern and my main question is just going to be, will he help us do a better job in January of not shooting ourselves in the foot? Now, somebody like him, I'm not going to bring up the defense's inability to create turnovers in the playoffs this time, because that's not what I would expect out of him. If he got a turnover, that would be great, but more than anything, my concern would be, can he help fill that void of stopping the run when we need to stop the run most? This past season, one thing that we forget about in our playoff loss to the Bills is the fact that we gave up 147 rushing yards to the Bills. And even though no one individual on the Buffalo Bills lit us up necessarily, as a collective, they ran the ball very effectively against us, especially in situations where they absolutely needed to. Best example is right after Mark Andrews dropped the 2-point conversion, we did have one more chance on defense to get a stop, to make something happen, and we couldn't do it. We could not do it. We gave up another big run that allowed the Bills to ice the game. And that's one of the main concerns I had all year, was the fact that our run defense may and eventually was proven to be fraudulent, because on the season we averaged 80 rushing yards allowed per game, but all year I kept wondering, are we really that good, or is it really just a situation of we're playing teams that are passing for so many yards against us that they don't need to run? And as the year went on, it turns out that the latter was true. We were playing teams that were passing the ball so effectively that they really didn't need to run. When we played teams that had serious running threats, like Saquon Barkley, or in the case of the Buffalo Bills with James Cook and Josh Allen, we just simply couldn't hold them back. We could try to. We could maybe bottle them up for one play or one series or one quarter or maybe one half, but as far as the entire game, like, we simply could not shut any one of these like serious running threats down for the entire game, especially when we needed to most, like in the divisional round against Buffalo. So hopefully John Jenkins can help with that. Hopefully he could also be somebody who, when he steps in for Travis Jones, there's not like a serious drop off, because another thing that was noticeable last year is when Travis Jones wasn't on the field, it did feel like the defensive line was a lot less effective. But Let me know what your thoughts are, and are you excited about this John Jenkins pickup, and what are you expecting from him? Do you think he'll be able to fill the shoes of Michael Pierce?